Bedtime Stories from Sleep With Me is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
This show is supported by Odoo. When you buy business software from lots of vendors, the costs add up and it gets complicated and confusing. Odoo solves this. It's a single company that sells a suite of enterprise apps that handles everything from accounting to inventory to sales. Odoo is all connected on a single platform in a simple and affordable way. You can save money without missing out on the features you need. Check out Odoo at odoo.com. That's odoo.com.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the podcaster that's so happy to be here, talking. No one's called me the Mandaborian before, but because that's a mouthful. Talk about, I'm not kidding. I have trouble spelling Mandalorian. And then they say, by the way, it's the Mandalorian. And I said, okay, don't even, like I said, I think I could probably, I don't know if I could spell Mandalore. The other thing is I don't know where I go wrong either. That's why I need, because spell check says, what do you, like, well, sometimes I don't get it, but, if that's not, this is the kind of podcast where that's what I talk about right towards the beginning of the show. So it's time for Sleep With Me, a podcast made by a person that can sometimes successfully spell Mandalorian. Sometimes I can't, or sometimes I misspell it. I don't know which, it's an A or an O probably. I don't think I spell it Mandalorian, but, so I really, even now, I can't tell you where I go wrong. But I could tell you that this show is here to keep you company and take your mind off stuff while you fall asleep. So glad you're here. If this is your first time, I'm glad you're here. You deserve a good night's sleep. That's why I make the show. A lot of us know how it feels in the deep, dark night. The only thing I can tell you is give this show a few tries. It is very, very different than most. Listen, you've listened for 2 or 3 minutes. You say already, okay, there's something. This person, I'm being perfectly honest. But, I can't spell Mandalorian all the time. Some of the times I just can't look at it and know it's correct. But so that's the kind of relationship if you become a regular listener. But if you're looking for, like you said, well, I thought this was a sleep pod. I'm going to keep you company and put you to sleep podcast. So just see how it goes. Over 1 million people have said to me, it takes 2 or 3 tries to get used to the show, or said it in reviews or posts. So just see how it goes at first, but I'm so glad you're here. I really hope I can help you fall asleep. Thanks again for coming by. What we got coming up is support. That's how the show comes out free twice a week. Then there'll be a long, meandering intro meant to ease you into bedtime. Don't miss out on it. Holy cow. It is, I don't know what I'll be talking about, but I'll forget what I'm talking about and go off topic probably. And then there'll be, then we'll have some support, and then we'll talk about the season 3, episode 2 of the Mandalorian. And, that's, what else can I say other than, other than what popped in my head is that Filoni and Favreau, that's like some nice alliteration. Holy mackerel. It's time for Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. And this is how we're able to do this for free for you twice a week. Everybody, we're back with more Mandalorian. Holy moly. And this was an episode I really liked, especially like I talked about the apostate and seeing this kind of play out this episode and then thinking about the believer. I don't know. It was so, this is season 3, episode 2, chapter 18. Is it The Mines of Mandalore? Yeah, The Mines of Mandalore. Which I think has a nice ring to it, too. As someone who has titled their episodes, I say, The Mines of Mandalore. The only thing is with, like, the difference between a streaming show that's like on a paid platform and stuff versus a podcast. Usually we get rid of because for podcasts, the search works differently. Like, obviously, if you're like, you know where to go, you only go to one place to watch Mandalorian, where Sleep With Me, like, podcasts are distributed freely. So any podcast app can use the like, grab the show. So, I mean, I don't know if I'll do, I guess, will I take out Mind's a Man? Not, no, because it's like the title. Good question. You know the answer before I do, because I'm just recording it. You're listening to it. So let's see where we start. We start off with the Disney stuff and this one did not. Oh, we do the recap first. There's like green stuff. Oso looking at it. The armorer. If I visit the planet and bring you proof, if I take a bath in the living waters, I would be redeemed. This is the way. Previously, we see the songs that eons past foretold of a mythosaur rising up to herald the new age of Mandalore. And actually, I think this is an important piece. I don't know how. I would think that they're fairly involved, the showrunners of The Mandalorian, but I mean, I'm just taking a guess. Because these seem to be, the recaps do seem to be not just tied to the episode. And again, I don't listen to any Mandalorian podcasts or read anything because I learned my lesson a long time ago, like now with Mandalorian, with other shows. But so they show the Beskar staff or stave or thing that the Mandalorian had way back at the end of season 2 that he dealt, what he used to win the Darksaber. And I do think that's shown intentionally, or I'm projecting intention onto it because I don't know. I haven't seen any of the other episodes, but I would think that, there's just a couple obvious things in this episode about the Darksaber, or maybe they're not obvious. I don't know, but they seem like, I mean, and I don't know what happened to that thing. It was made of Beskar. I wasn't paying close enough attention, but so this is just a recap. A tale of a mythosaur rising up to herald a new age of Mandalore. Then we see that staff, Bo-Katan cries or something. I wrote it out, not Bo-Katan, though. Yeah, she once laid claim to rule, but with that sword you now possess. Her rule ended in tragedy. Then we see Mandalore go visit Bo-Katan. Hey, I'm going to Mandalore. No good. It's plundered or ravaged there. Nothing left. Then the screen goes to black. We see the Lucasfilm thing. I'm pretty sure we get the the start of the music, or the start of the Star Wars music that comes next, normal music. And then we see a party, racing cars, fireworks, and not a fireworks display, like individual fireworks. We see bunting. It's festive. And we see a Greedo-like character talking to one of our favorite characters on the show. Says, hey, let's get rid of this vehicle. Can't fix it, I guess, if you're not going to pay me. So a little comic relief. I don't appreciate your tone of voice, but I'll fix it. Very festive garb on the Greedo-like character, Greedo-like being. Yeah, I got to order parts from the mid-rim, probably be 2 months. What? You got to be kidding me. Settle your snout. I'll put a rush on it. But you got to pay me half for parts up front. And, now I got to work Boonta Eve. See ya. I do have a life, big holiday. I got plans. I don't just sit around here and work all day. I'm popular. And then we realize she's running a little scam. because she calls in, I don't know what scam, I didn't understand it. Jawas come in. We see this astromech droid. They bring in an engine for the car, same color, put it back on the speeder. Oh, so maybe she's got a deal where they strip the vehicle and then she buys the parts back from them. Oh, yeah, that is it. So it only took 4 times to figure it out. I was like, is she going to go racing? But then she goes, go strip another speeder. It's Boon to Eve. It's ripe. Then the Mando comes in the new ship. Oh, boy. You hear that? Purring like a nuzzle shrew. And Mando says, yeah, faster than I know what to do with. Well, we'll tune her up. Don't worry. Where's my guy? So cute. Grogu pops up, flips into her arms, says, you're leaping like a lurman. Grogu, was that his first word? I think he's talking to me. He said, Pelly. And he says, I'm here. I'm working. I need a droid part. Is it the Huts? No, boring. Droid part. Go get the Jawas, and we get them before they start drinking. People really drink during Bunta week. They need an IG memory circuit. She goes, okay, Grandpa. The Jawas come in. She says, yo, we need a memory circuit for IG. And they say, got nothing. No chance cubes? Is that what she said? And he goes, well, I need a droid rated for spelunking. She goes, spelunking? What in the heck? She goes, what are you spelunking? And he goes, Mandalore. Because they need something that can check stuff out. She goes, this Mastromech's perfect for it. We got a nervous Nelly of a droid, scaredy droid, she calls it. It's R5 Astromech, built for adventure. The droid even questions her right in front of Mando. You're supposed to pilot starfighters. Anti-tyranny. And he goes, this thing's falling apart, and I got no room for it on the N1. It's R5-D5. It's from the Rebellion. I'll put your droid port back in, and this little baby here can co-pilot with you. And then she tells the droid to settle its bolts. And she goes, I'll give it to you for half off with a free oil bath. And we see the droid in the droid port, Oso and Mando up front. She goes, you're an astromech, act like one. Don't be a scaredy cat. And I won't rely on it too much, so. He goes, I thought it was built for an adventure. She goes, can't hear you. And the fireworks are going off. I do have to pause it here because I do have to say, then she says, may the force be with you. And again, I'm not exactly clear on history, but I would say, is the force catching on? Because I don't know if that's why she says it, right? Because it did get said towards the end of the last episode or the end of the last season, right? And there's supposed to be some time elapse between now and then. So I don't know, just a thought. So Mando and Oso take off. May the force be with you. As who's saying it? Katy Perry fireworks? No, it wasn't Katy Perry. Was it Miley Cyrus? But yeah, makes you go, oh, so baby Oso. Chapter 18, Mines Mandalore. And we see space and the ship is going in towards the planet, and Oso's watching. I was trying to track Oso's ears, or Grogu's ears better. We see a cloudy planet, some storms, lightning, but green. And Mando says, this is our homeworld of our people. I know it looks scary, but the songs once sang, come here and take a bath. This is a place to bathe. Green and beautiful when the songs were written. Now it's just green and crystallized. And he goes, every Mandalorian can trace their roots back to this planet and the Beskar mines deep within. And you know what? I've never even been there. This is a first for me, bud. I grew up on that moon over there, Concordia. And then he points out Kalevala, that's where Bo-Katan lives. Same system. He shows Grogu the map. You have to understand maps and know your way around if you're going to be a Mandalorian. That way you'll never be lost. And Grogu's ears have stayed at midpoint most of this time. But he's very vocal. Then they go through the clouds. There's a bit of storm. Like they go through rainy clouds. Power goes down. Mando even notes, like, yeah, this is the like generation, the interference on the planet. They come out of the clouds, fusion stuff. Magnetic fields are all out of whack, but there is clear. So it says there's not going to be any communication off planet. And we see the crystallized Earth, very dramatic, R5. So they land eventually. And he says, yo, R5, you get sampling, yo. R5 says, no, thank you. And Mando goes, no, by the way, that was not a request. That was an order. And then Oso's worried. And he says, don't worry, droid will be fine. And then he tells the R5, D5 or whatever, don't be a baby. And Oso's like, still concerned. Oso's concerned as soon as they land. His ears their ears are slightly rising and going down. But yeah, so he's talking to R5 right now, but he says, don't worry, we can watch on the scope. And there's a little beep, beep, beep. And of course it disappears. And he goes, don't worry, it's just a power cycle. Let me do a reset. And he goes, okay, well, maybe it's some interference. I don't know. I'll go check it out. Oso doesn't like it. But by the way, I got to get in your pram. This pram is really, really getting a lot of pram action here. Say the pram action in this episode is like 9 out of 10. The only thing would be more if there was lasers on the pram. But he says, get in your pram, seal it up. I got to, get out and pressurize my helmet and stuff. And we have an underlying sound of breathing effects. Oso's ears are down at that point. Like he says, don't worry. So then his ears go back to kind of midpoint. And, then we go into this cavern. But let me see. We're looking at the readout right now. Droid vanishes. The power cycled on its own. He didn't even have to do a reset. He goes, don't worry, it's just interference. This Oso's ears are pointing down. Or Grogu. Sorry, Mandalorian. He goes, normally this is droid work. I don't want to go out there. But I'll do it. Be right back. BRB. He doesn't say BRB. Great shot of moving clouds in the background. Or maybe the camera's moving. Can't tell. I guess both. So Mando's out of the ship, seals it back up. We can hear him breathing. See him walking, looking around. Kind of gray sky. Seems like it's getting close to a sunset, maybe. But I don't know anything about it. There's thunder. Don't worry. I'll be right back. So Mando goes into this cavern, or entrance to a cavern. There's even a skylight. Then he looks over the city. I guess an underground city. I don't know if it was originally underground, because this is the Civic Center we see later, which I think we even see a dome, that it was originally like a domed city. But Mando looks over at it. It's like going down below him as he gets deeper in this cavern. And then these Muppets appear, and they're not Muppets from the Muppet Show, but they do look like they're same, like Henson level Muppets. And they're kind of like if Animal the Muppet was crossed with like some sort of large fish-based being, also with like great abs. And they do want to play the drums, but they think that the Beskar armor is drums. So they're trying to play the drums on the Mandalorian. And the Mandalorian first tries a bunch of moves, but eventually he goes to the dark saber, which he doesn't really have a very good ability to wield it. He's having trouble lifting it. He actually has to use his other moves. I mean, he uses a little bit, but mostly relies on other stuff. But he tells them, like, basically, he cuts their drumsticks up. That's simple. So once they realize they're without their drumsticks, they just go home. Then Mando finds RD5 or whatever R5-4D. Was that their name? Oh boy. I don't know. R5 is the shorthand. D4, R5D4 maybe. R2D2, right? Okay, so Mando and R5 go back to the ship. He goes, yo, you all right? But before they get back to the ship, he goes, yo, give me an air report. Because Mando or Oso wants out. And actually R5 did that. So it does a laser projector. We hit 64 green, and we're up to 95 green. So that's good. Bo-Katan's right, and Mandalore not cursed. So then Pram, Mando, and Oso head off, leave R5 behind. And Oso's sitting up straight in the Pram. I don't know how it's piloted, but I'm noticing right hand of Oso does seem to be on something. Not sure if it's a controller. I would think it'd be mentally controlled, but who knows? Trying to look. I can't see. But Mando's looking around. Oso's looking around. Oso's ears are slightly down to mid. And he goes, that's the Civic Center down there. That's where Bo-Katan said to go for me to take my bath. So they do like a feather fall, that spell. They don't use feather fall, but they don't, no falling. They're just like, and they stop at one platform. Here's a question. I'm not kidding either. Were Yoda's ears that big? He says mine should be further down. We're on our own. Or does will Oso's ears remain the same size, but their head will be bigger? I'm just not remembering, but I don't know. I didn't pay close enough attention. No, I guess you're right. Yoda's ears were big. I don't know why I thought they were smaller, but I think I'm wrong. Okay, so now they're down in the depths. We see some glowing-eyed friends. You'd call them baby dragons. And they look around. Eventually, they turn on. Mando has on what do you call that? What are those called? Headlight? Not a headlight. It's called something else, but Oso has a headlight on the Pram, a single one. Headlamp, that's what they call them. We see some green-eyed friends, glowing green eyes. And Oso picks up his speed in the Pram and says, yo, 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 there's weird beings down here. Small Muppets, swampy small Muppets, headlamp. Goes, by the way, these waters must flow to the mines. Then I'm going to take a bath in. Then they find a passage that goes down. And it says, let's check this out. They go into a bigger area, like a big chamber. There starts to be some new age music. And this one single part I didn't totally understand. I mean, I understood it, but it's like, how long was the person being waiting? But Mandalorian finds a helmet and says, let me clear this thing off. This is a Mando helm. And then there's sound effects or music, but then there's like a WTF sound effect moment with a wow exclamation point, because there's a crab robot with a robot voice. And, but it's only partially crab. It's also like, it's only partially robot. It's a mechanical being, mechanical organic. But it somehow like wraps Mando up in a hug and marches off with him. So it was waiting. It said, I want to hug, like, I think the confusion lies in the end with it thinks it's Mandalore, like it has some association with stuffed animals to hug and hold and Mandalorians. It's an area of confusion. It doesn't see Mando or Oso. So the crab goes off, and it's a bit of a collector. So it says, okay, I'm going to hold this Mandalorian, or what I think is, it says, well, I'm going to put this Mandalorian here on my work table or something, my stuffed animal work table. And there's really, really cool sound effects and visual effects. It actually looks like a centrifuge. So what my theory is this is somehow related to some sort of Mandalorian planet-based Build-A-Bear type workshop. But for mechanical crab beings or something. Because it sets Mando up. It gets out of it's a mechanical being, a bit like Darth Grievous or whatever that dude's name is, General Grievous, but different. I don't know if the same background. And it gets out, and it says, I got to get my prep for Build-A-Bear. And I'm just using Build-A-Bear, though I'm sure there's like, I don't know what on Mandalore, like maybe those animal Muppets. I forgot what their names are. Bo-Katan says it later. But it starts booting up all these machines, which I have never gone to a Build-A-Bear workshop. I've been outside of one. But I think they have something like a cotton candy machine. And I think that's what it starts up at first. But like the Mandalorian's like hooked up to this, so some sort of centrifuge. It also takes away Mando's darksaber and laser or whatever, the squirt gun. Meanwhile, Oso's watching this whole thing, stealth mode, stealth Grogu, and saying, what in the heck is going on? So this is a hybrid being. Here we see everything. Mando's groaning. It says, this is not comfortable. I was embraced by a giant crab, a mechanical crab. So Oso tries to sneak up on this thing while this hybrid being's like working on getting stuff prepped. And there's some tension because you say, how does Mandalorian fit in with all this? Because Mandalorian is not a stuffy or a plush being. And Grogu tries to use their powers to free the Mandalorian, but it ends up just making a noise, which gets the attention of this hybrid being, shoots some lightning bolts, but Oso flips into the pram, bumps it up to full pace, and flies out of there like at top speed before that thing could even react. 2 lights, and it has a headlight. And, I mean, I've never seen a pram go this fast. There is a baby dragon that tries to kiss Grogu. And I mean, this is what happens when the planet, people try to find comfort. So the baby dragon and the hybrid being, they're just trying to find comfort. Then a Muppet, one of the animal Muppets, jumps in front of Grogu. And we don't see what happens. We only see the reaction is that the Muppet gets tossed out of the cave by force power. So we get a general idea that Grogu's got some serious force power. Grogu flips into the ship, seals it up, points at, looks at R5 and then points at the star readout, but at Bo-Katan's planet, I'm assuming, because that's where they end up next. Grogu's in the driver's seat. Then we go to the castle. Bo-Katan's droid is there. I'm going to pause it here because I was trying to see. So Bo-Katan's sitting on a throne, no longer lounging, hands folded, arms on knees, leaned over. Does have a pretty sweet blanket and pillow set up for when Bo-Katan lounges. On the left side, so I don't know if Bo-Katan's left-handed because I'm not that observant, but right now I am. Helmet and the blanket and pillow are on the left side of this throne. Right side's clear. Also, while the throne is made from some sort of stone or cement or hard thing, there is a soft chair built into it. Okay, so the droid says, yo, somebody's coming into the atmosphere, unscheduled visitor. And Bo-Katan looks out the window, gets up. We hear a ship entering the atmosphere. And we get a great looking out the window, like a real window in rain. We see the S1 or whatever that thing is. Let's get rid of him once and for all. But you think that means one thing, but it really just means a very stern talking to. So when Bo-Katan says, let's get rid of him for once and for all, means I'm going to give this Mandalorian a very stern talking to. I'm not even kidding. At first, I thought it meant something else. She has her helmet on under her arm. She goes out to the ship as it lands, and she starts her speech before the window opens. Maybe I didn't make myself clear. I said, I'm solo, not like Han Solo, totally solo. Then Grogu pokes out. Bo-Katan tilts her head. What happened? Grogu's ears go backwards. Download the astromech droid, find out where they were. Grogu babbles. Then we see Bo-Katan's ship take off from a different, spaceport at the castle, go into outer space. And then we go in towards Mandalore. We see Mandalore from afar, go through the clouds again, the storm. And we even get a jet trail after we come out of the storm into the clear skies for Mandalore. And we see wreckage of the Civic Center. We kind of hear Bo-Katan's nostalgia. She tells Grogu, it used to be pretty here. It didn't used to be like this. This used to be a pretty sweet place. And Grogu's kind of trying to be empathetic but quiet, moving ears. Get like a pursed lip face of Bo-Katan, hard to read. There's great music, some kind of haunting music. And the ship lands, and we turn off power. She says, okay, kid, you got to guide me to him. Can you do that? Grogu says, you better believe it. Great acting. I don't know if there's and if Grogu's the first off the ship in the pram. And then Bo-Katan helmet on behind Grogu or Oso, They go, sun's in a similar position, sky's a little bit more clear. So again, I'm not sure on the time of day. Then R5's like, I got to watch this. So R5 puts it up on the screen. There's great wind sounds. They go into the cave. There's tension. So obviously Grogu can't explain Bo-Katan that this was full of strange Muppets that want to play the drums on armor or pram. Ears are down, kind of like to lower medium. And then Bo-Katan looks over the city, takes helmet off, and looks down, and his kind of breath's taken away. Even a grimace. Once a beautiful civilization, and my family was ruling it. Now, yeah. Not great. Better for a D&D campaign than a history lesson. Let's go. So they head down, Featherfall style. Grogu's ears are flapping in the wind as they go down. And they go down, lower, lower, lower. They go into the kind of the underground, kind of subway style area. And she follows Grogu. At first, going slow, there's some steam. Grogu's making noises, looking for glowing eye beings, which there are some. And Grogu does I don't like. Grogu can't say that just with sounds. And Bo-Katan looks back. Hey, I know this isn't easy. This is frightening, huh? But I need your help. And Grogu's ears are down at that, really down. Now they go up. Okay, let me turn on my light. Bo-Katan, headlamp on. And they continue on their mission. And there's even a little small talk time as they go through. Bo-Katan says, I knew some Jedi. We used to work together, believe it or not. Not sure what they said about me, but, we used to be side by side. And you must be pretty good with the Force, huh? Because you got all the way back to me. And then Bo-Katan hears something, and it's more of these Muppets, but they're like on the roof. She pushes Grogu to the side in the pram and actually surprises them, like somehow hears it through the crystal, them moving around. Because these ones are, I guess, they're a bit of bumblers. And they come down. How many we got? 3? They say, whoa, drum time. And we see kind of Bo-Katan's ability to deal with Muppets is totally different style than the Mandalorians, but very effective. And also has a glowing shield, a wrist shield, some sort of like force. He said, Grogu, watch, think your dad was the only Mandalorian? Dude, I got some power. Oh, those are Alamites, by the way. Yeah, that makes sense. They're fans of animal Alamites. Then we go to the back to this Robo dude who's kickstarting the stuffing, like the stuffing. I guess it would be like something that kind of fluffs the stuffing fluffer. So it's a machine to fluff stuffing before you put it in a stuffy. Now, the confusion lies with the fact that this being believes the Mandalorian is a stuffing-based being, which the Mandalorian is not. And so eventually it says, well, I'm going to use your stuffing to restuff my stuffy. So the Mandalorian just groans and says, this is not good. And then all of a sudden Bo-Katan shows up, says, this must cease, shut it down. And at first it looks like the hybrid being is going to be pretty effective, but then Bo-Katan finds a dark saber. And this is what I mean. Like, once Bo-Katan holds a dark saber, it's over. It has the shield. I mean, at first, Bo-Katan, like, shuts down the first hybrid thing, but doesn't realize that it's also like a mini crustacean helm. So the being makes a movement with its crustacean helm, and she goes, Din, can you hear me? And then he goes, behind you. She goes, it's Bo-Katan. I know you're not a teddy bear. And he says, behind you. And then the being has gotten into the giant crab. But again, the giant crab even has no match for Bo-Katan with the darksaber. And none of this is actually, like, this is all action, exposition through action. But it's pretty good exposition. Holy cow. She just took apart the crab piece by piece. Then gets, we don't even see it. We just see a close-up of Mando. She walks towards it. The screen goes to black. When it comes back, she's making tea, what I thought was tea. But it's Pog soup. And Grogu's kind of reaching out for it. There's also what looks like I guess it's a grill. I thought it was a silverware organizer. But it's a portable grill. And he goes, what happened? She goes, your kid, he came and got me. Quite the navigator. Mandalorian says, thank you for rescuing me. He says, I feel awful, but you're right. This place is not cursed. And she goes, really? Yeah, it's like, take a look around, buddy. And a great society, now a memory. Grogu wants the Pog soup. She gives it to Mando because he needs it. This was once a great society. Now it's gone. Nothing to cling to. And he goes, what is this? She goes, didn't you get raised on pog soup? He goes, no, I lived on a moon. She goes, the irony. And any Mandalorian worth their armor, Mandalorian, raised on pog soup. Which again shows this other thread maybe of, then he gives the pog soup to Grogu. And she goes, okay, let's go back to my ship and get out of here. He goes, no, I got to take a bath. That's why I'm here. I got to get back to the mines of Mandalore so I may be redeemed. And she goes, that's adorable that you're following these children's stories. But there's nothing magic about the waters. You can take a bath anywhere. And he goes, without the creed, what are we? What do we stand for? We're scattered around like stars in the galaxy. This is how we got through stuff with the creed. You rescued me. I'm always in your debt, but I still have to take a bath. It's my obligation. And she goes, I'll go with you. He goes, to the living waters? She goes, yeah, I'll help you. You'll never find them. I'll help you get to your place to take your bath. And he again says, thank you. She goes, don't thank me till you see the water, dude. Grogu's watching and kind of making little comments every once in a while. We get down to the base level again. Bo-Katan pulls out some sort of floating glow ball. Well, maybe that's later, but says, man, this used to be nice here. Mandalorian's like, this looks like it's been centuries. She goes, no, it's just the Empire punished us, wipe away our memories. And he goes, must not be easy being here after seeing how beautiful it was. And she goes, well, you know what hurts more is the fact that some people some people broke away from us, weakened our power, and that we couldn't stand up to the Empire then because we were fighting each other. And she goes, here's the way, the entrance to the mines of Mandalore. And then I think now she uses the glow ball. So in addition to all the headlamps, pretty cool, pretty handy. Yeah, these mines have been here thousands of years. Living waters are below. He goes, have you been there? She goes, yeah, when I was a child, I took the bath, I took the creed, just like in episode 1. I mean, I was, the first episode of this season, I was showered with gifts, it's a different time. Rituals are theater, by the way. They just wanted to see the princess recite the tenets and with her father looking on. Heartwarming spectacle. And Mandalorian says, what? I don't know. Maybe your dad was proud. She goes, yeah, he was, because I behaved. I didn't want to embarrass him. And Mandalorian says, your father sounds like an interesting man. I would have liked to known him. It was just so robotic in a good way. And she goes, yeah, he was a great man. He defined, and there's like this heartwarming moment here because she goes, yeah, he had to give it up to protect Mandalore. And Mandalorian stops walking, he gets choked up. And he goes, this is the way. And obviously she's touched. And then Oso staring at her, Grogu. So she goes, what are you looking at? This is a moment of vulnerability for us, too. Okay, so then we go into this, another chamber. And she goes, there it is, living waters, same as regular water, backside of water, like they say on that ride. And she goes, I'll give you the full tour. There's a big landmark sign right here. The mines date back to the age of first Mandalore. According to folklore, the mines were a mythosaur lair. Mandalore the Great tamed the mythical beast. And that's where our signet was developed and the symbol of our planet. She kind of tilts her head. That's it. And Mandalorian is just kind of staring at the water. It's kind of like a temple. And she goes, are you okay? And he's having a moment. He takes off his cape, takes off whatever's going to, whatever can't get wet. And, it goes down. So at least some water could touch his skin, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's necessary, but he starts to slowly go down these steps that go into the water. And she doesn't realize it until it's too late. She says, the last step's a doozy. So he goes down the steps, but like there's a drop off. He goes, I swear on my name. He's saying the thing, and the names of the ancestors that I shall walk the way of the Mandalore. Dips his hands in, Bo-Katan's touched, and the words of the creed shall be forever forged in my heart. And then he drops off the last step under her, and she dives in to catch him. And she has to use like jets because he was not ready or something. And she actually manages to turn her lights off to find him. And so very dirty bathtub, I'd say. But she dives after him, heads to the bottom, finds him, grabs him. And it's pretty deep dive, but it was cool. I mean, especially the fact she turned her light off till she found him. Glowing. His headlamp was still on, luckily. She scoops him up, but as she heads to the surface, she sees a mythosaur swimming around down there. It would kind of make eye contact with it, and then it swims off. And she's kind of totally stunned. Like, that was just a mythosaur. Kind of looks like a bit of like an elephant. And just looks at her and then swims away. And she comes out. Oso says something. Everybody's out of breath. Mandalorian's, he says, thank goodness. And Oso comes and checks on him. We zoom on Bo-Katan, who's catching her breath. And that's the end of the episode, except for the art, of course, which comes up next. First, kind of the plains of Mandalore with the ship coming in. Then Mando walking on the plains with some of the wreckage of the Civic Center in the background. Then the Animalians, or whatever they're called, Muppets. Then down, getting ready to go down into the city. Then Oso in the cockpit with the baby dragon. Then Bo-Katan looking off from her castle, the parapets. I don't know if those are what they're called. Then Bo-Katan's ship landing and walking with Oso. Then her and Oso going down. And there's actually a steam effect on this photo to give it some movement. Then the robot crab with Mando holding it. Then Bo-Katan versus the robot crab, an action pose. Then Bo-Katan making tea and Mando resting. And then the temple with both of them standing side by side with flashlights, it looks like in their hands, and also in the middle. And then the episode comes to a close. Yeah, so let's see what else. It's going to look some stuff up here. Okay, let's start with Boonta Eve. What do we got? A lot of listings on it here. Boonta Eve Classic, Boonta Eve Cantina. Oh, that's a real event. Okay, this one's on Nerdist. Let's see who wrote it. It's loading. Boonta Eve, what to know about it? Does take place on Tatooine. Too bad Wendy Marstrap's not here yet. This is by Michael Walsh. Came out March 8th, 2023. What to know about the important Star Wars holiday. Okay, the Boba Fett, I don't know about all this because I didn't see everything, but the Hutts were the ones that gave them Boonta Eve, the celebration. Even without the Hutts in charge. What is Boonta Eve? A major holiday. It got stretched into a week-long celebration of drinking and revelry and fireworks. It was originally secular in nature to honor one of the Hutt's family members rise to godhood. Bunta Hestilic Shadru. It was somebody, I don't know. Modern canon, we know technically very little about them other than they rose to a godlike status. The Bunta Eve Classic is the most famous event. It's held in the Grand Arena. Flag parade, and a race or entrance reach up to 700 kilometers per hour. We didn't see any of that. In one of the movies, though, that's so is pod racing, I guess. So yeah, that's it. It's a big celebration to celebrate somebody. Okay, now we figure out Astromech and Greedo. Greedo. How do you spell that? E-E-D-O, right? Greedo. I keep hitting I instead of O. Greedo, Star Wars. Oh, yeah. So Greedo Tetsu Jr. is a fictional character, a Rhodian bounty hunter from the Tetsu clan who worked for Jabba. So Rhodian, that's what I was trying to... Rhodia is according to the Wikipedia, home planet of the Rhodians, including Greedo, remote swampy planet. And it was part of the Galactic Senate during the Clone Wars. That's all we know. What else do we need to know about Greedo? Oh, no, that's a list of Star Wars planets. Here we go. Greedo dealt with, Han Solo, that whole thing. What else we got? Appearances, Betrayal. Greedo was in a holiday special and Phantom Menace and Clone Wars. Wow. And in Star Wars #2, Marvel Comics, Legos. So that, I don't know, so we didn't, I mean, I guess I knew enough. Okay, Astromech droid, according to Wikipedia. Or not. I'm having trouble finding Wikipedia in this list. There's Wikipedia. A lot of Star Wars. Guess we'll go to the Wikipedia. That's like if we get there, let's see here. Well, here's the dork side of the Force. 7 droids every Star Wars fan should know. Astromech droids. Here we go. Who wrote this article? Brianna Allers from 1 month ago. Astromechs are a diverse group of droids whose main purpose is repair ships and be a co-pilot. Some of them can do other stuff, but they communicate using beeps and whistles in a language called binary. One of the most popular types is the R-series droid. Similar. There's also a C series, which is similar to the R series. They're older, though, with boxier shape. And then BB-8 is part of the BB series. So BB-8 is an astromech. Cool. And then C-3PO is a protocol droid. There's also RA protocol droid. But that can also do other things. C-3PO. So, yeah, this is a little bit about droids. And, yeah, that's everything. Good night, everybody. I will see you. May the Force be with you. Good night. I just want to thank everybody who's been sharing about the podcast on Twitter. And if you share about the show, if you have a chance, just let me know. Either tag me, Dearest Scooter with a T, or Dear Scooter gets a lot of sleep with me related stuff. But what do you call it? Yeah, let me know. You could also fill out the form at sleepwithmepodcast.com/sponsors and sponsor. Just let me know you shared about the podcast. And I can send you a thank you video. Oh boy, we got a lot of people to thank. Let's see here. We got Raina, who told PG, who told Steven about the podcast. They were all sharing. Kim, Spreading the word on there too. Teresa, thank you too. Odd Devin, thank you so much. Andy, thank you so much. Teresa, thank you so much. Amy, thank you so much. DY, thank you so much. Rachel, thank you so much. What else we got here? Maddie and Supa, thank you so much. TechNet, thank you so much. Lily, thank you so much, and shout out for geocaching. Matt B, 6 years listening and supporting the show. That's pretty cool. They had their sleep anniversary. Lisa, thanks so much. And yeah, that's everybody. Thanks so much, everybody, for supporting the show, spreading the word. Show exists free. The podcast can be able to support it directly on Patreon or support our sponsors. And we grow by people just spreading their honest experience about the show. It really is a huge help. Wireless Goat, Luna, there's PG again, spreading the word. Joel, Rachel. So yeah, thank you so much, Sally. So yeah, couldn't do it without the people. Like, the show would not exist without the support and wouldn't grow without sharing. So thanks, everybody, and good night.